What's up, comic book fans? And welcome to Comics Icons. Now, JJ, what they call me. And today, we got more countdown to absolute power with Suicide Squad Dream Team issue number 4, the finale of this series, and the direct lead in to DC's new event, Absolute Power. And if you guys missed any part of this series, then I put up a card at the top of the screen for you. And I put a link at the end of the video to the playlist. But one thing I wanted to make sure that I corrected, when I began this series, I mentioned that Absolute Power would bring the start of Absolute DC and the end of Dawn of DC. But apparently Absolute DC will be separate continuity, kind of like Marvel's Ultimate Universe. But when we had left off with this series, Amanda Waller had given up Dreamer's secret colony to the media and government officials, causing an outrage and rogue citizens to try and attack her alien colony. And in defending her home, Dreamer was then reapprehended by the Suicide Squad on the orders of Amanda Waller. But it was done so with the hopes that Dreamer could get close enough to Amanda Waller to take her out. So if you guys are ready to find out if Dreamer is able to complete the mission and save the day before Amanda's quest to rid the world of its superheroes is complete, and you guys know what time it is. Let's get it. So the issue kicks off with Dreamer in chains being transported back to Gamora to Amanda Waller by the Suicide Squad. And initially, Dreamer is unconscious, but when she awakes, she thinks to herself that she wishes that she hadn't woke up yet. Because unfortunately, she overhears the squad saying that Amanda will win, and it'll be all Dreamer's fault. And after hearing it, she immediately breaks her chains on her legs and attempts to fight the Suicide Squad in an attempt to fully break free. But Harley Quinn is able to hold her off with a hammer shot to the ribs. But then the Dreamer pleads for them to let her go. She has to stop Amanda, and she understands that the team won't help her, but they could at least get out of her way, she tells them. But what she's not understanding is if they fail, that's their heads. Literally. So whether they want to free her or not, it doesn't matter. But what they don't know is when Dreamer hit Bizarro with her dream energy back in Parthos, that blast went through his head and it forced out his bomb. So he's no longer a hostage to Amanda Waller. He gets to decide now if he really wants to be a hero. And if he does, then Dreamer could really use his help. And then as Deadeye is just about to tell her to give it up, Bizarro does indeed free her. And the first thing Dreamer does is reabsorb her powers back from Black Alice, who has siphoned them off back in Parthos. But when she reabsorbs her powers, she's reminded of an Amanda Waller vision that immediately knocks her out for a bit. Meanwhile, as she's out and everyone is looking over her, Clock King decides to load his pistol with a kryptonite bullet, and he fires it at Bizarro for turning on them. But just as he fires it, Dreamer wakes up and stops the bullet before it can hit Bizarro, who definitely wasn't a fan of Clock King using kryptonite. But then as Dreamer once again tries to flee, Deadeye stops her with a fist. "We had a deal," he tells her. "You were supposed to let us bring you in. Then you were going to take your shot at her." But Dreamer reveals to him that she heard them talking when she was out, and they don't even think she can beat Amanda. But he replies to her that that's because she can't seem to make a plan and stick to it, instead of just putting them all at risk. But she then tells Deadeye that she understands why they can't help her. But they need to understand that Amanda no longer controls her, because her bomb already went off. And with that, she's referring to Amanda already giving up her secret colony. So she's got nothing left to fear from Amanda, at least so she thinks, because she's never had a physical bomb in her head. And then she tells Bizarro to catch everybody, just as she then uses her power to blow a hole right out of the back of the plane that they're on. And as the rest of the squad all get ripped out of the back of the plane, Dreamer tells them that she will stop Amanda, just before she pulls herself forward on the plane. And then we pick up with Amanda on the island nation of Gamora, and she's pissed that none of her squad is responding to her call. And just as she starts to think that it's time to make an example out of one of them at random, she spots her plane on fire about to crash. And then we pick back up with Dreamer as she's made her way to the cockpit and tries to land the plane and to save the pilot as she activates his seat ejection. And she thinks to herself that she's sometimes wrong about her dreams, But one thing she knows she's right about is that Amanda and her forces are about to cause untold pain and suffering. And it all starts with her prison that she's building. But it's empty now, and this is her only window to try and fly a plane right into the prison construction. It's my fault for letting her have Gamora, Dreamer thinks. So she has to stop her, even if it kills Dreamer in the process. And as the plane finally crashes, Dreamer manages to drop right out of the back of the plane and then fall from the sky, just as the plane made contact and exploded. And as she falls to her assured death, Bizarro flies in and saves her. "My hero," she tells Bizarro. And he responds, "Bizarro always ruined," but before he could finish that statement, a kryptonite bullet pierces straight through his head. And then they both hit the ground, and Bizarro is nothing more than a leaking head now. Sheesh. And now a pissed off Dreamer kicks in the door to Waller's office. It's time to settle this. But this hiccup is nothing to Amanda, who's on the phone telling somebody to just resume prison construction in the jungle instead. She's not interested in changing her timeline just because of a pissed off teenager. And then when she hangs up the phone and finally confronts Dreamer, she tells Dreamer that her little tantrum really hasn't done anything. But she is impressed by the body count that Dreamer racked up in Parthas. But that body count is nothing compared to Deadshot's, who Waller then introduces Dreamer to. Mr. Lawton is another one of my favorite assets, Amanda tells her, prompting Dreamer to respond that this is not making killing her less appealing. But right there, that's the lesson that Amanda has been trying to teach Dreamer, that you can't get anything playing Boy Scout. Sometimes good people have to let bad things happen. And sometimes we have to do bad things. This world wasn't meant for women like them to succeed. And Amanda's had to fight hard to get to where she is now. And for years she had to swallow her pride and stomach the truly heinous, because she knew what she was working towards. And now she's finally in a position to really change this world for the better. Being a hero is about more than just punching bad guys. It's doing whatever you have to do to save the future, even at the expense of your own self. "Do you understand?" she asks Dreamer, just as Deadshot hands her a file folder. But then Dreamer responds that she does understand. And then she fires her dream energy at Deadshot, dropping him. And then she hauls off and cracks Amanda right in the nose. And then Amanda pulls out her pistol on Dreamer, telling her to stand down. But Dreamer then fights Amanda for the gun, all while Amanda tries to give Dreamer a message about her family. But the mention of Dreamer's family makes her see red. And then she punches Amanda right out of the window. And as Amanda falls to her death, she screams back to Dreamer that she just killed them. Then Dreamer starts to hear beeping coming from Waller's computer, and initially she doesn't understand what's happening. But then she spots the papers on Amanda's desk and realizes what she's just done. Because on one of the pages it mentions that Dreamer's family was already apprehended after Dreamer was recaptured, and they had nanite explosives injected into their heads. But each explosive was linked to a heart monitor worn by Amanda, and if it stops, the explosives automatically detonate. And then we go back to when Amanda asks Dreamer if she understands. And this time Dreamer reluctantly tells her she does understand. As she opens her eyes and comes out of the dream, it's that overwhelming crush of defeat that hits her first. And the humiliating revelation that Amanda had already won before she'd even knocked on Dreamer's door. She never should have gotten mixed up with her, Dreamer thinks. And as Amanda Waller officially welcomes Dreamer to the Suicide Squad, that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the issue. How crazy was that, y'all? I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw Amanda get knocked out of the window, I was like, what in the hell? But then to see that it was a dream, that was pretty cool. And all in all, I think this was a pretty decent finale and setup to Absolute Power. Even despite them making Dreamer look like Superman, breaking chains and crashing airplanes. And she was like the almighty in this one. But Amanda Waller is a whole problem out here in these streets. But what did you guys think about the issue and the series? And are you guys looking forward to this Absolute Power event? I want to hear all you guys' thoughts and theories down in the comments. And as always, If you guys enjoyed this video and this channel, and you'd like to support the channel, then you can do so by stopping by the Comics Icon store and picking you up some of this merchandise, including the background music heard right here in this video, available for download. Or by joining the Iconic Fan Club channel membership, and it'll be a link in the description to join. But with your membership, your voice will be heard during our interactive live streams with yours truly, where we could talk about everything that's been going down in these issues, as well as ones that you'd like for me to go over in the future and other comic book news. Plus, you guys will get loyalty badges, member shoutouts, and up to 20% off of Comics Icon's merchandise from the Comics Icon store. And we've got tiers to the membership starting at just 99 cents. And I must say that is a way to really help out the channel. Or you guys can donate to the channel as well with a super thanks. And if you're not able to do any of these, then you can still be a tremendous help to the future of this channel by dropping a like, share, and subscribing to Comics Icons for more icons in the comic book world. But ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time.